Welcome to On the Air with the Book Crawl with your public house host, me, Melissa Heathers, where authors rise as thought leader and own the mic, where the stories behind the pages are heard and the voices lead, because every story is worth savoring. Today's conversation is a little bit different. Before we explore her book, her message, and her impact, we are taking a moment to meet the woman behind the pages. On the Air with the Book Crawl, we welcome Tammy J. Cohen, award-winning author, speaker, podcaster, mother, connector, and a woman whose journey has been shaped by relationships, growth, resilience, and purpose. Tammy's story is about more than what she has created in her book. It's about the experience that shaped her, the lessons that changed her, and the woman she became along the way. Today, we are stepping beyond the title and the public platform to discover who Tammy is, what helped her find her voice, and what she hopes others understand about the person behind her work. This episode is so special, and it's a prequel to Tammy's upcoming appearance on the book crawl, where we will continue the conversations, explore the message behind her work and book. Tammy, welcome to On the Air with the Book Crawl. I am so honored to have you here today.
Melissa, I'm excited to be with you, and I believe in your mission. And we're all finding our mission. So let's do it. Let's do the book crawl.
Let's do it. Let's do this on the air, girl.
Oh yeah.
So before we talk about your work on the upcoming show, the book crawl, and before we talk about your work as an author on the upcoming show, the book crawl, please tell the audience who Tammy J. Cohen is behind the titles, the accomplishments, and the public role.
Well, I always start off with, and I always lead with, Tammy J. Cohen. I start off with I'm a human being. And then I move into, that's my superpower. And then it's everybody's superpower, but most people don't realize it. But I'm also a mom to 3 adult sons. I live in Manhattan. I'm married. I've been married for going on 34 years. I own a restaurant called 18 Restaurant. It's been in business for over 16 years on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And you know what? I belong to multiple communities, but recently I joined the campaign of Bruce Blakeman for governor of New York. So that's a whole new dimension.
Wow.
And I'm finding it really quite purposeful and very important for any of your listeners who are from New York, were from New York, or live in New York. They get it.
I love it. I love that we are beginning there, because people can often see what someone has achieved, before they understand the person behind those achievements. But our characters and our values, and I know you have strong values, and I love your values and everything you represent, are usually shaped long before anyone sees us publicly. On that note, what experiences, relationships, or turning points had the greatest influence on the woman you are today?
Well, that's a great question. I look at it from a couple of different points, because over my life, you go through different stages, you go through different things. And what was really major league, or seemed like it, at one point in your life, kind of doesn't have the same effect as other times of your life, as things that you're going through. So I would say one of the biggest, of course, changes was every time, you move on from stage to stage, whether you go from middle school to high school to college. It's always, I did a graduate degree, I have an MBA, getting into the world, coming into world and figuring your life out. You're not in college anymore. You're not in grad. You're working. How are you going to pay for things? How are things going to gel? What are you going to do? Pivoting. These were all different milestones, and I think it's kind of hard to say the one thing that made the difference, or changed everything for me. It's kind of been a work in progress. It's been a very long journey. I like to say that we're on this road, all of us, right? And there are parts of the road that are smooth and paved beautifully. They're just straight. But a lot of it is potholes, and a lot of it is turnoffs, and a lot of it is exits that you don't know why or where. But if you have faith, you have to go through these things. And I feel like whether it was like, physically, health-wise, when I first became a type 1 diabetic, or for example, being diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and even from becoming a mom for the first time, going through my kids' milestones, everything impacts you and changes you. And people come into your life. There's people who've been in your life forever, right? And they're very special, and
Yeah.
they're rare. But mostly, people come to your life for a season or a reason to teach you something. So it's like, who influenced you? Who this? I can say over the last 6 years, a bigger defining point or experience would have been COVID, and trying to manage that, knowing that I wasn't, so everything shut down for me, my income, my self-esteem, everything was gone for me. And I felt like I felt worthless. I felt like I didn't have a lot of self-esteem. And I think putting myself through, that process of not being happy and figuring out like what I need to do and learning things and learning new concepts really was another defining point for me. But like I said, I feel like I've been going through a rewrite so many times, so many experiences. Yeah.
Wow. That was a great answer, Tammy. And I love that you used the word pivot because our life is in transition and we're constantly pivoting to adjust and make the decisions that we need to do to go into the next chapter in our life. And those experiences often become the part of the lens through which we see ourselves, our purpose, and the people around us. They can also reveal the strengths within us that we may not know we have or recognize. And until life asks us to use them, we need those, bumps in the roads and the curves to find that strength within us. So, when did you begin to recognize the value of your own voice? And what helped you trust it enough to share it publicly?
Well, we're all in Earth School. I mean, that the point of you being here is for your soul to keep learning, for your soul to elevate to a higher purpose, right? And to find faith. And I trust in God. And, I believe that God gives us tests because he knows we can pass them.
Right?
Like, we're not given tests that we can't possibly pass. I've seen people, I inspire every day by people who are just doing incredible things and coming from incredible places. And that gives me a lot of hope and a lot of faith. So basically, for me, I think I found my mission and where I'm at pretty late in life. I didn't really know what I was, what my point was exactly for so long. I mean, you know, you do the best you can, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's not clear. All we can do is listen to our voice inside of us,
Right.
and that's what I've always tried to do, and try to make sense of what's going on around me. And sometimes it feels like the whole world is upside down. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Trying to just figure out, okay, what's the next step. One of the things I've learned and I really value is that it's worthiness. It's
Yeah.
it's worthiness, okay? Because I was always a person who needed external validation. Like, everything for me was external validation, and judging myself based on everybody else's accomplishments and what they're doing, and always feeling like I'm not doing enough. I don't do this, I don't do that, I'm not here, I'm not there. And then, one day, and it was through my sons, through the practice that I started. We'll talk about that a little bit. The text messaging practice, the intentional messaging practice, that got me to be more grounded and more present.
Yeah.
When I started realizing that, I like give myself grace and that I'm enough, and I don't. And whatever journey I'm on, and it's my journey, and it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing or thinking. And also, to be better with myself,
Mm-hmm.
to expect, to be treated the right way, expect to be considered, and not be afraid to ask for it, not just accept whatever's given to me or said to me or handed over to me. That was a big change for me that allowed me to go out and take steps to do things that I'd never imagined doing. These today, what I'm doing today, I never saw myself. If you would have told me 6 years ago, oh, you're gonna found a women's business network, you're gonna write 2 books, you're going to start a podcast, you're going to speak, you're going to do these things, I would have looked at you like you're
Like you
insane.
have.
Like, so it just gave me kind of the ability to just keep moving forward, even dealing with a lot of a lot of sideways things.
Oh, I love that response. It resonates like deeply in my soul, and I hear you on all levels. And that word faith, faith in ourselves and trust in ourselves. That moment of self trust can change everything, especially when someone has spent years putting the needs of expectations of others first. Honestly, finding our voice is not always about becoming louder. Sometimes it's about becoming more honest about who we are and what matters to us. And I know that you found that on like your roads and your bumps and your journeys, like so many of us do. What part of yourself did you have to grow into or perhaps let go of to become the woman, author, and speaker you are today?
Well, I had to let go of some sabotaging. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's a work in progress. Sabotaging thoughts. Let go of the past. You know.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm working on is to stop obsessing and worrying about the future, which is
Yes.
really hard. Although I'm like, one part of me is like, well, you got to prepare for the future, right? But the other part of me is like, but you're worrying about stuff that not it hasn't it's not necessarily going to happen. Um, so I'm just trying to find balance
Mm-hmm.
in existing, and you know and also you know, the whole thing about expectations, like where you
Yes.
think you should be or what you think somebody should be doing for you. It's like I'm realizing that every expectation I have, like, is I have to be able to fulfill myself. That nobody's going to be able to do that for me, and that was probably the most eye-opening thing for me is realizing that.
Oh, I love it. This conversation. This is like rejuvenating me. And I'm speaking your language, girl. I get what you're hearing, what you're saying. Growth often asks us to release the older versions of ourselves before we can fully understand who we are and what we're becoming through, unconditioning ourselves, breaking patterns, all those type of things. That can feel really uncomfortable, but it also creates the space for greater confidence. I see that in you. A purpose and personal freedom. I hope that you've, through those bumps and trials and tribulations and hardship, have found that. What has your journey taught you about courage, identity, and beginning a new chapter in life? Can't
Well,
wait for this response.
yeah, these are really good. They're like very deep questions.
Yes.
You don't usually have one deep question after another. I've been on over 120, I think, interviews, podcasts, radio, whatever, all the stuff. And usually there's a lot of like, but I'm like, okay, I have to really think about this because, huh, you know, every day is kind of, every day is a new day, right? It's an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. Every minute is a new opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to keep in my mind. And today, because there's so much cognitive overload out there, there's so much of this algorithm like fatigue, there's so much technology. I'm like from a different generation, it's a little daunting for me. It's very daunting, the whole tech thing. But I'm also starting to be aware that what's happening is that you kind of just have to take a couple of steps back and say, like, avoid the distraction and avoid all this stuff that's coming in
Right.
because it really messes with your head of
Mm-hmm.
what you should be doing and what you're not doing and what you could be doing, like I said before. One of the things I'm just starting to realize now on this whole journey that I've been on, what's given me a lot of strength is knowing that I don't need to figure everything out. I just need to put one step forward. Like, and that just makes it so much easier for me to get up in the morning because knowing that I have to do one thing, and then you do one thing and the next thing opens up or you have more motivation. Um, I'm very much somebody who likes to write things down. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
remember. Um, I like to have write down when I have of course everybody has a Google Calendar, but I like to write also. So I just realized, like, I don't have to come out of the bed shooting out of a cannon. I live in Manhattan. I've done that for plenty of years. I need to come out of my bed, and just kind of find my footing and be present. And then, like, whatever feels right, do that next thing and do the thing after that. It's one step at a time, and I don't have to figure anything out. Um, Long term, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to have everything right. Okay. I just have to do one thing. That makes it so much easier to function on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Tammy. And I love that quote. I have to get out of my head, out of my bed, and into my footing. Like, brilliant. That's so brilliant. I think many people will connect with that because new chapters rarely begin with everything feeling perfectly clear or having clarity. Like, it's in the uncertainty, really. Often they begin with one brief decision, like you just spoke of, to trust ourselves and take the next step forward, as you mentioned, even before we know exactly where it will lead. And that's such an important lesson, because that's faith in ourselves. That's faith in a higher power. I truly, truly believe that. So let me ask you this. As the audience prepares to meet you on your upcoming episode, The Book Crawl, the television series, what is one thing you hope they understand about the beautiful Tammy J. Cohen and the woman behind the work?
What is the one thing I hope they understand about? Hi, I don't know. I honestly don't know one thing I hope they understand about me. It's about, what's the vibe you get when I'm talking to you? What are you feeling? Like, it's about your audience. Like, I'm talking about what I feel, makes me come alive, or what I'm feeling, like something that I did, how I use technology differently. That's what we're talking about, to change conversation, to reframe it, to strengthen relationships, deepen connection. Does it resonate? Because, and not everybody has to be in alignment, or not everybody has to know something or feel something about you, or know something personal. It's just, I'm trying to just put it out there, what I did to change things for me, to change things with my sons, and how that whole ripple effect, like how it affected me across all touch points of my life. So what I want people to know is that it's okay. We're really we're different people inside of our head. We're some of us are the mother, our mother, where some of us are a wife, some of us are a teammate, some of us are, like, we have a business. We're different people in one system, in one head. So if one of your systems, gets something out of something that I'm saying, then I feel like you know everything there is to know about me. Then that's it. Like, that's my whole thing, is I'm not here to make it. I just want people to know I'm not here to solve the problem. I'm here to give you maybe a new way of seeing something, or a tool. And that's life, right? It's like, people come into your path to either, for a reason. There's no coincidences. So that's what I want people to know about me, is that I've been striving all my life to be the observer, and I'm still working on it.
I love it. I love your vibe. And you are a very good observer, as am I. I think that's why we have a divine connection.
Well, we care into each other's life,
Yeah. Honestly, this has been a beautiful and very meaningful conversation. Today, we did not begin with your book. We began with the beautiful woman behind it. We explored the experience that shaped Tammy J. Cohen, the moments that helped her discover her voice, and the growth that allowed her to step more fully into who she is today. We are reminded behind every author is a human journey such as Tammy's, a story of becoming, a story of courage, a story of leaning in, learning, and trusting the voice within. A heartfelt thank you to Tammy J. Cohen for allowing us to meet the person behind the pages, for sharing the heart, the growth, the humanity behind her journey. And to everyone listening, this is your reminder. You are more than your titles. You are more than what others expect of you. And your voice may become most powerful when you finally allow it to sound like your own. Be sure to join us on Tammy J. Cohen's upcoming appearance, The Book Crawl, where we'll continue the conversation and explore the message behind her incredible work. This is On the Air with The Book Crawl, where authors rise as thought leaders, stories are heard, voices lead, and every story is worth savoring. Until next time, keep thinking it, keep inking it, and keep sharing it on the air.